The wind howls, snow falls. The forest is alive with the whispers of ancient tales carried on the icy breath of the wind. Each gust seems to tell a story, each flake of snow a memory of times long past. A chilling tale is told, one that has been passed down through generations, whispered from one campfire to the next. It is a story that sends shivers down the spine, a tale that is as old as the trees themselves. It speaks of a creature, a being that is neither man nor beast, but something far more terrifying. It is said to roam these very woods, its presence felt in the rustling of the leaves and the creaking of the branches. A monster, the Wendigo, a name that strikes fear into the hearts of those who hear it. It is a creature born of hunger and desperation, a symbol of the darkest aspects of human nature. It haunts the frozen forests of North America. From the dense woods of Canada to the remote wilderness of the northern United States, the Wendigo is said to stalk its prey, always hungry, always searching. Its legend is whispered by the flames of a flickering fire. As the fire crackles and the shadows dance, the story of the Wendigo is told, a warning to those who dare to venture too far into the wilderness. A warning, a reminder, that the wilderness is not a place to be taken lightly. It is a realm of beauty and danger, where the line between life and death is often thin. To respect the wild or face the consequences. The Wendigo is a reminder of what can happen when we lose our way, when we let our hunger and desperation drive us to madness. In the heart of winter, the Wendigo story is at its most powerful. When the nights are long and the cold is biting, the tale of the Wendigo serves as a stark reminder of the dangers that lurk in the shadows. It's a time of scarcity, when food is hard to come by and the cold can sap the strength from even the hardiest of souls. It is in these times that the Wendigo is said to be at its most active, preying on those who are weak and vulnerable. A time when survival is uncertain, when every decision can mean the difference between life and death. The Wendigo is a symbol of the harsh realities of life in the wilderness, a reminder that nature is both beautiful and unforgiving. The Wendigo becomes a symbol, not just of the dangers of the wild, but of the darkness that resides within us all. It is a reminder that we must always be vigilant, always be aware of the shadows that lurk within our own hearts. It represents the dangers that lurk in the wilderness, the unseen threats that can strike without warning. But it also represents the inner demons that we all must face, the darkness that can consume us if we are not careful, but also the darkness that resides within us all. The Wendigo is a powerful symbol, a reminder that we must always be mindful of our actions, always be aware of the consequences of our choices. In the end, the story of the Wendigo is a tale of caution, a warning to respect the wild and to be aware of the darkness that resides within us all. The Wendigo originates from the Algonquin-speaking tribes of North America. These tribes, rich in culture and tradition, have passed down stories through generations, each tale more chilling than the last. The Wendigo is not just a myth, but a reflection of the human condition, a symbol of the dangers that lurk within us all. These people lived in the Great Lakes region, an area known for its breathtaking beauty and unforgiving winters. The vast expanse of water and dense forests provided both sustenance and challenges. The Great Lakes were a source of life, but the surrounding wilderness could be perilous. They knew the harsh realities of winter. The biting cold, the relentless snow, and the scarcity of food were constant threats. In such conditions, survival required not just physical strength, but also mental resilience. The Wendigo legend emerged as a cautionary tale, a reminder of the perils of winter and the importance of community. The Wendigo to them was more than a monster. It was a manifestation of the darkness that could consume a person. The eerie forests and the long, cold nights were the perfect settings for such a creature to exist. The Wendigo was a constant presence in their stories, a reminder of the thin line between humanity and monstrosity. It was a personification of their deepest fears. Around the fire, elders would recount tales of those who had succumbed to the Wendigo's curse, their eyes wide with terror. These stories were not just for entertainment, they were lessons, warnings to the young and old alike about the dangers of isolation and unchecked desires. The stories varied between tribes. Each tribe had its own version of the Wendigo, with slight differences in appearance and behavior. Some described it as a giant with a heart of ice, while others saw it as a gaunt, skeletal figure. Despite these variations, the essence of the Wendigo remained the same, but the core remained constant. The Wendigo was always a creature of insatiable hunger, a being that could never be satisfied. It was a symbol of greed and excess, a warning of what could happen when one gave in to their darkest impulses. The consistency of this theme across different tribes speaks to the universal nature of the fears it represented. The Wendigo was a being of insatiable hunger. It craved human flesh. It represented greed. This insatiable hunger was not just for food, but for power, control, and dominance. The Wendigo's emaciated form was a stark reminder of the emptiness that comes from a life driven by greed. It stood as a warning against selfishness and the dangers of losing oneself to desire. The Wendigo legend served as a moral compass, guiding the tribes in their daily lives. It reminded them of the importance of community, sharing, and looking out for one another. In the end, the Wendigo was not just a monster, but a reflection of the human condition, a symbol of the eternal struggle between good and evil within us all. The Wendigo is described as a terrifying figure, tall and gaunt. Its skin is stretched tight over its bones. Its eyes burn with an unholy hunger. Some stories depict it with antlers. Others describe matted fur and razor-sharp claws. But its most horrifying feature is its heart. It's said to be made of ice, a symbol of the creature's cold, unfeeling nature. The Wendigo's hunger can never be satisfied. It is forever driven by an insatiable desire for human flesh. The Wendigo legend served as a powerful tool. It instilled important values in the Algonquin people. It taught them to respect the delicate balance of nature, to avoid greed and selfishness, to share their resources, especially in times of hardship. The Wendigo story was a cautionary tale. It reminded people of the dangers of succumbing to their darkest impulses. To give in to greed, they believed, could transform a person. It could turn them into the very monster they feared. Section 5. The Wendigo's mark on storytelling. The Wendigo has transcended its cultural origins. It has become a fixture in modern horror. Its chilling image and terrifying nature have inspired countless writers, filmmakers, and artists. Algernon Blackwood's The Wendigo, written in 1910, introduced the creature to a wider audience. Stephen King, a master of horror, featured the Wendigo in his novel Pet Sematary. Films and TV shows like Ravenous and Supernatural have depicted the Wendigo's terrifying hunger. Section 6. Terror in modern times. The Wendigo's grip on our imagination remains strong. It has become a staple in video games and tabletop role-playing games. Its image is instantly recognizable. It evokes fear and fascination in equal measure. The Wendigo is more than just a monster in these stories. It represents the primal fear of the unknown. It reflects our anxieties about the darkness that lies at the edges of civilization. Section 7. Why we still fear the Wendigo. The Wendigo continues to resonate with audiences because it taps into our deepest fears, the fear of the unknown, the fear of the wilderness, the fear of becoming something monstrous ourselves. The Wendigo reminds us that there are consequences to our actions, that greed and selfishness can have terrifying repercussions. It serves as a chilling reminder of the fragility of our humanity. Section 8. Beyond the legend. While the Wendigo might be a mythical creature, its legend holds valuable lessons. It teaches us about the importance of respecting nature. It highlights the dangers of greed and selfishness. The Wendigo story reminds us that our actions have consequences. It encourages us to consider the needs of others and to strive for balance in our lives. Section 9. Respecting the wild, respecting the stories. The Wendigo legend serves as a bridge between the past and present. This ancient tale, deeply rooted in the traditions of the Algonquin people, speaks of a malevolent spirit that embodies the dangers of insatiable greed and the perils of losing one's humanity. The Wendigo is not just a monster lurking in the shadows of the forest. It is a symbol of the consequences that arise when we fail to respect the natural world and the delicate balance that sustains it. It connects us to the ancient fears and beliefs of the Algonquin people. These stories were not merely for entertainment. They were vital tools for teaching and preserving the values and wisdom of the community. The Wendigo legend, in particular, served as a stark warning against the dangers of overconsumption and the loss of community bonds. It was a reminder that the health of the individual is inextricably linked to the health of the community and the environment. It reminds us of the power of storytelling and its ability to transmit cultural values and warnings across generations. Storytelling was, and still is, a sacred act that binds people together, creating a shared understanding and respect for the world they inhabit. Around the fire, stories like that of the Wendigo were told to instill a sense of caution and reverence for the natural world, ensuring that each generation understood their role in maintaining the balance. As we gather around our modern-day fires, our screens, our books, our shared experiences, let us remember the Wendigo's tale. In our fast-paced, technology-driven world, it is easy to forget the lessons of the past. Yet, these stories hold timeless truths that are more relevant than ever. The Wendigo's tale is a call to mindfulness, urging us to be aware of our actions and their impact on the world around us. It challenges us to look within and recognize the Wendigo that may reside in our own hearts, pushing us towards greed and disconnection. Let it serve as a reminder to respect the wild both within ourselves and in the world around us. The wilderness is not just a backdrop for our stories. It is a living, breathing entity that deserves our respect and care. By honoring the lessons of the Wendigo, we can strive to live in harmony with nature, fostering a deeper connection to the earth and to each other. In doing so, we ensure that the wisdom of the past continues to guide us towards a sustainable and compassionate future.